given that the Katy Perry situation is only getting worse for the overall spaceflight backlash that not only herself is dealing with, but also Blue Origin, Jeff Bezos, and even Gayle King, they're all dealing with the ongoing mockery coming from the general public.
Let's see how planetary expert Katy Perry prepared for this mission.
I'm really excited about the engineering of it all. I'm excited to learn more about STEM and just the math about what it takes to accomplish this type of thing.
Flint up there. Flint, I got you. I got you, Flint.
Katy Perry went to space, got roasted by a fast food company, and reignited a sort of forgotten feud.
I would love to hear her actually explain what the acronym STEM stands for. And then Katy Perry continued her tour of obliviousness while exiting the capsule and acting like she was part of that crew that was stranded in space for months.
Katy!
Woo! You are officially an astronaut.
Thank you so much.
How do you feel?
I feel super connected to love. So connected to love. I think this experience has shown me you never know how much love is inside of you, like how much love you have to give, and how loved you are until the day you launch.
She kissed the ground and she liked it.
Partly heartwarming, some of the stuff they're saying, and partly utterly hilarious. Not knocking them, but it is funny how they're interpreting it. And they're all being described as astronauts. Are you an astronaut if you do that? I don't know. Maybe you are. Maybe you are.
What happens when a pop superstar takes a rocket ride to space and somehow ends up more grounded than ever? That's the question swirling around Katy Perry this week after her much-hyped Blue Origin spaceflight turned from headline-making triumph to full-on PR mess. While the moment was pitched as empowering, aspirational, and even historic, the internet's reaction was something else entirely. The glossy mission has sparked intense backlash, waves of skepticism, and a now viral response from Katy herself, one that's stirring the pot even more. Buckle up, because this story is moving faster than a rocket launch, and it's loaded with drama, awkward optics, and a message that's not landing the way it was meant to. Let's break it down. Earlier this month, Katy Perry joined Blue Origin's latest flight to the edge of space, a suborbital journey that lasted just a few minutes, but was designed to make a lasting cultural impact. The crew included other high-profile figures like Gayle King, and the message was clear. This wasn't just a celebrity joyride, it was a moment of representation, a group of accomplished women breaking boundaries and taking up space, literally. On paper, that sounds powerful. In reality, viewers felt something else. Confusion, discomfort, and in some cases, secondhand embarrassment. Why? For starters, the entire launch felt overly staged. From the moment the live stream began, it was clear this was a production. Katy, always conscious of the camera, spent more time gazing into the lens than out the spaceship window. She clutched a flower, yes, a literal daisy, and looked deadpan as the capsule lifted off. It was supposed to be serene, maybe even symbolic. Instead, it felt out of place. People watching expected wonder, joy, maybe tears, and instead got a moment that seemed overly polished and emotionally flat. That's where the mockery started. Social media quickly turned the moment into a meme factory, with users joking about astronauts, a jab at the idea that this was more influencer stunt than scientific milestone. The tone was brutal, but the questions were real. Should brief spaceflights like this be treated with the same gravity as actual astronaut missions? Can a PR-heavy trip be called historic when it's surrounded by camera crews, sponsorship deals, and brand messaging? As the criticism built, Katy Perry didn't stay quiet. In fact, she went on the record in what many are calling a defiant and maybe defensive attempt to take back control of the narrative. In a lengthy public statement, she suggested that the backlash wasn't just about optics or authenticity, it was about gender. According to Katy, the public's discomfort with the Blue Origin flight reflects a broader issue with how society treats women in powerful, visible roles. She said, and we quote, "I think the real issue at large here is that there's a growing problem with women in the spotlight. A person's status or wealth should have nothing to do with the criticism of how one gets to space." She added that accusations of the event being staged were uninformed, saying, "We really were risking our lives in that spaceship. You never know what's going to happen." Now, that kind of statement might have played better if the flight hadn't been so short, safe, and, well, rehearsed. Spaceflight is inherently risky, sure, but many felt Katy was overstating the danger, especially when compared to the years-long, high-stakes missions actual astronauts undergo on the International Space Station. Critics weren't shy about pointing out the difference, but Katy wasn't done. She went on to frame the mission as groundbreaking for women, declaring it the very first true female group to make their journey up to space. That statement caused another stir, with commentators and fans reminding her that women have been going to space since the 1980s, and that the first all-female spacewalk happened years ago. While her flight might have been unique in its celebrity angle, calling it the first true female group rubbed people the wrong way. Was it a mistake, a misstep in messaging, or just another example of how heavily this mission leaned on narrative over fact? Throughout her statement, Katy circled back to a recurring theme, that criticism of her mission had less to do with the mission itself and more to do with misogyny. She said, "Could misogyny be playing a role in all this? It's definitely possible. I feel we wouldn't be getting this response if we had some guys on board." That comment drew a mixed response. Some agreed, pointing out that male celebrities often receive praise for similar ventures. Others felt she was using the gender card to deflect from what many saw as a tone-deaf performance. One of the most talked about moments in the Backlash involved a clip from the live stream, where Katy is seen staring blankly into the camera while everyone else is caught up in the thrill of the moment. Paired with her holding that daisy, a visual callback to her early pop persona, it just didn't resonate with the gravity people expected. Instead of awe, people saw apathy. Instead of empowerment, they saw performance. Then there's the issue of how the media framed this event. While mainstream outlets gave it glowing coverage, praising its symbolic importance and female empowerment angle, many online felt the coverage was unbalanced. They pointed out that real astronauts who had just returned from extended missions on the ISS received far less attention. Some called it a symptom of celebrity culture swallowing serious accomplishments and repackaging them for likes, clicks, and merch drops. It's worth noting that Katy Perry's public image has already shifted in recent years. Once the queen of quirky empowerment anthems, she struggled to maintain the same level of cultural dominance in the streaming era. Some of her past stunts, from awkward live performances to reality TV ventures, have sparked criticism for being out of touch. And for many fans, this spaceflight feels like a continuation of that trend. High concept, low authenticity. Still, it's not all doom and gloom. Some fans continue to defend Katy, arguing that she was put in an impossible position, that no matter how she acted, someone would have found a reason to criticize her. Others praised her for being part of a mission that encourages broader participation in space travel, even if it was more symbolic than scientific. And let's be honest, Katy Perry taking a rocket ride isn't something you see every day. It was going to cause a stir, no matter how it was packaged. In the end, though, the story here isn't really about one pop star's journey to space. It's about the tension between celebrity and credibility, between performance and purpose. Katy Perry didn't just step into a space capsule. She stepped into a narrative, one that was carefully crafted, globally broadcast, and instantly dissected. And in today's media landscape, even a trip to space isn't immune to scrutiny. So what now? Katy's statement has been made. The memes have gone viral. The live stream is archived, but the conversation around it, about women in media, celebrity in science, and the way we respond to spectacle, is still burning hot. And love her or hate her, Katy Perry just reminded us that even in zero gravity, public opinion can still hit hard. Let us know what you think. Was the backlash fair or overblown? Did Katy speak the truth or just stir the pot? This is one story that isn't floating away anytime soon.